it's more important, of course, to heed to the lessons of failure. And of course, this is Bill Gates, the co-founder of Microsoft. Well, celebrate success, it's okay, but it's still important to heed the lessons of failure. I mean, so many times people, we fear failure, and we actually, when somebody tells you that sometimes there is a path you need to partake before you get somewhere, we always fear that part where you're proved worthy of that dream you're trying to pursue. Do you realize that actually everything you pursue, you have to be tested?
Definitely, there is nothing that doesn't come with a test.
Yeah.
And one thing I have learned about the failures especially is that if you don't appreciate them, you'll not see the value they're bringing to your business or to your life.
Exactly.
The moment you start appreciating, you will see the lessons, you see the detail of, because I trusted this person, I didn't have an agreement with them. Next time I'll have an agreement. You failed on that part, but now you've got the knowledge and the wisdom.
Exactly.
And next time, even if it's a relative, even if it's your best friend, you will need to have an agreement that binds you legally.
Exactly.
So there is always something to take home at the end of it all.
You know, even on that, I remember the guy actually who made the bulb that we used to pay. He made about 50 plus tests, quite lots of tests, and they were all failing. Not until one day this magic moment came, and it went through, and we see the bulbs. We are just using it even here on set, on the streets, on the beautiful streets of the cities. So it's very interesting. Celebrate success, but heed to failure also. All right, let's get into the business tip of the day.
And the tip of the day says, tell your story visually. Visuals can help your message become actionable. Things like video, whiteboards, images, or other pictures will show how your prospect's problem will be solved with what you are selling. By using images, you create contrast, which can create the feeling of urgency, which will help you close the sale. So it takes me back to we believe by seeing.
Exactly. You're right.
So if you show me physically that you can manage, because we've had very many people in words tell you they can do something and they fail to deliver on that. So if you can show the person you're pitching to that you can actually solve their problem, and they see it, or at least see a sample of what you can do, you should go ahead and do that. That is the extra mile you need to take sometimes to brand yourself different from everyone who's providing a solution out there.
Yeah, actually, a little compliment on that. When you talked about, make somebody see what you're saying. I mean, and we saw the quote was saying about visuals. I remember in the Bible there is a prophet that was crying out to God. That's Habakkuk. It's like, all things are not working out, and then God told him, write your vision on paper. I mean, let me see what you're saying you want. And actually he did it, and I believe things were granted to him according to how. But I was so amazed that God we believe, the God we pray to could tell somebody that, hey, put that on paper. So it shows you that visualization has a certain power. What do you see?
It does.
I'm a movie fan, and sometimes I tend to follow up the lives of some of these movie directors. He will tell me that I feel like when we act this scene this way, I would feel like I want the shots, the angles to come out this way, and they will actually draw it down on paper and present it to the board, and that will be, that clarity. If you have it there, definitely you will put it. That's why we first plan houses, we call architectures to put them out there.
Well, I've been in pitching meetings and where you have to have these presentations and stuff like that, and trust me, there is power in visuals.
Visuals,
yes.
I agree.
Well, let's get into our business entertainment.
All right.
And check out what is happening in the world of entertainment, but from the business angle.
Yeah.
Yes, with Andrew.
Okay, welcome to this segment, Business and Entertainment, where we're going to understand the music industry, the entertainment industry, and of course, so many other business aspects. You need to really understand, as somebody that is aspiring to be a part of this industry, there are quite lots of opportunities that you can participate in. It's way beyond just of course, being a musician, being a DJ, and doing all sorts of things, being a record label manager, quite so many. And today I'm going to, as I'm sharing these stories, I'm going to share with you a certain business idea. Perhaps if you're somebody out there and you're interested to participate, that's in the entertainment industry, you would really pick interest to partake this. But definitely, it will come along as we are sharing, we are talking about what's really transpiring in the world of entertainment, and we see where the money is, and what are the prospects. I'm really excited. I can't wait to really portray some very interesting information regarding the business and entertainment. And we start with Cinemas Talks, of course, Surge amid report, and of course Amazon plans a 1 billion theatrical push. Well, this is something so incredible. We really need to understand that the COVID-19 pandemic kind of killed the theatrical aspect, where movies should be, before they are put out on the Blu-ray discs, they first go into the theaters for a space of 90 days. Yes, then after they are distributed to other countries, put on streaming platforms. But now it seems like we are heading back to the theatrical push. And actually, quite so many companies really money, people could really flood the cinemas and really go to watch these movies, and these companies made billions of money. But streaming, of course, has been associated with quite some challenges, and this is something related to piracy. So you get to understand the entire concept regarding that. Okay, according to a report here, it says that Cinemas Talks got a boost. That was on Wednesday, 2 days back, after a report that online retailer Amazon plans to spend $1 billion a year on theatrical of that film releases. And of course, sources citing unnamed reports, Amazon plans to release 12 to, of course, 15 movies in theaters, and of course with a push into local multiplex getting underway in 2023. And Amazon source told the Hollywood Reporter that planning is only beginning for the theatrical effort, and the exact number of titles has yet been finalized. The move follows the e-commerce giant acquiring MGM Studios, that's for $8.4 billion US dollars, and MGM is a home of big screen franchises, including one of my favorite, and of course the James Bond series, and of course which is part of the studio's 4,000 film title library. Amazon always intended to have MGM keep making the movies. Cinemas Talk surged on news of theatrical movie push by Amazon, and shares in Cinemark, can you imagine, rose, that's 1.4 a share, that to the share rose to $1.47, or what we can say 12%, bringing the figure to 13.74. That's in the late afternoon trading on Wednesday. The world's largest chain, that's AMC Theaters. When we talk about AMC Theaters, we cannot talk about AMC and we don't talk about The Walking Dead. One of the series that really brought back, that really promoted the AMC, that it made quite lots of money. I remember the times when the episodes, each new season was premiered, the cinemas would flood, and people would really be excited to take a look at this movie. But of course, unfortunately, due to some little bit of issues, the way the direction of the series went, of course the numbers kind of reduced, affecting the revenue of AMC. But then it's interesting, we see that AMC Theaters also, that its stock price rose by 40%, or just about over 5%, that's to 7.72%, 7.2% a share. And of course we see, and the shares in IMAX rose that's $1 or 7% to 15.48, while stock in Cineplex rose 45 cents or 4.5% to 10.38. Now the most interesting aspect here, I remember on Monday when we talked about analysts on the Wall Street, when Bob Iger came back to take over Disney, and of course there were prospects that is going to make it much more better than it was. So we see that analysts on the Wall Street predicted an increase in the shares of Disney, and of course majority of the people, the share price of Disney rose because of that. But now we see Amazon planning to spend $1 billion on theatrical releases. Now we get to understand now the cinema stocks are rising. It's not a surprise. This is great news, but definitely we hope, like the way the analysts put it out there, it's how it will really portray at the end of the day. Remember, Now this means real work, because if you're saying that people are going to trust this cinema, are going to purchase these shares in bulk, so that means the cinemas are going to put the pressure on the movie, these movie companies to really put out that quality that can make people come into those cinemas. Remember, they also invest money to acquire these copies at a certain fee, and they would really love their money to be paid them to back. So that's going to call. So most especially MGM, which was acquired by Amazon, and of course it has to really. This is now really means work. Let's ensure that they put out the quality that. Yeah, if you're a cinema owner right there and you sit in your comfort, you can really watch this movie and say, this is really worth an investment and it's gonna make me money in that. Okay, Cineplex CEO that Ellis Jacob told the Hollywood Reporter that was on November 10th, quite like 2 weeks back, that the theater chain was in talks with online players, including Amazon and Apple, about putting their movies on his screens. I like how those people really transact the businesses. I mean, now we see a bit of cooperation, coming together. Put aside all this trying to outcompete the other, and come together. And now the CEO is talking about is telling the big players, and actually when we talk about Amazon Prime, these are the like streaming sites, Apple, and of course putting their movies on his screen. So they shouldn't put them online. They should go and take the movies in the Cineplex. So that's of course those are talks. So I'll be letting you know what's really transparent right there. This is what we call business and entertainment, really transacting as something so remarkable. And of course, plans for a renewed Amazon theatrical movie effort recalls Amazon Studios' push to nearly a decade ago to get into the movie business under a leadership regime led at the time, and of course that's by VP or the Vice President. That's Roy Price, and creative development head, that's Ted Hope. But after the early backlash, of course, by the exhibitors to Netflix and other online video giants making brief releases on their film titles in theaters, of course, before shifting to streaming services, major cinema chains are stepping up negotiations with streamers as they embrace theatrical windows. This is what I've been talking about. Negotiation, at least let's get back to the 90-day window where movies could first go through theatrical, then they can get back to streaming. And because streamers, they always, if you put your movie online, it's going to be streamed always, and it's going to be for years, but the theatrical window will only go for 90 days. So 90 days, it's worth a sacrifice. You can let go of those 90 days and you have for the rest of your life your movie streaming, and at whatever time they really log in to your page, they'll be able actually to watch this movie, and they're going to pay you a fee. It's not for free. So negotiation is key. Apple TV Plus and Amazon Prime have used movie theaters to market their upcoming movie streaming releases, and exhibitors are looking for Netflix, of course, to increasingly follow their lead. Okay, and now we wind up this report as we look through Senate panel holding hearing on concert ticket sales following Taylor Swift Eras tour fiasco. And of course, just to give you a little bit of hint, Ticketmaster is an online platform in the United States of America that distributes tickets digitally. And now Taylor Swift's tour, this time around, people were purchasing tickets and there was traffic, of course, online, and some of the tickets were cancelled. So that's very, very interesting. And so it comes back to this aspect. The Senate comes up to say that if Ticketmaster cannot innovate, embrace innovation, are they really ready to take on the game? All right, let's review this report and see. Taylor Swift's Eras tour fiasco at Ticketmaster in November may have shined a light on larger issue. Senate Antitrust and Consumer Rights Subcommittee says it will be holding a hearing, of course, on a date to be determined on concert ticket sales following, of course, the debacle. U.S. Senators, that's Amy Klobuchar and Mike Lee, of course, say they will be looking into the lack of competition that's in the ticketing industry. Of course, the high fee site disruptions and cancellations that customers experienced shows how Ticketmaster's dominant market position means the company does not face any pressure to continually innovate and of course and improve. That's according to the Senate, to the senators right there. On November 15th, Ticketmaster experienced issues and site slowdowns during, of course, Taylor Swift's pre-sale of pre-sale for verified fans. And of course, the company sold 2 million tickets during the pre-sale that continued to have problems. And of course, the following days, which resulted in Ticketmaster cancelling a general sale, citing high demand. And of course, fans quickly took it to social media, slamming the entertainment giant and expressing their concerns regarding that. And of course, the Senate here says that American consumers deserve the benefit of competition in every market, and of course, from grocery chains to concert venues. The Senate hearing announcement follows the Minnesota, of course, Senator writing an open, of course, letter to Ticketmaster's president, that CEO Michael Rapino, questioning the company about its business practices. And of course, she also explained that it's been skeptical about the company since it merged with Live Nation. That was in 2010. Of course, other lawmakers quickly claimed, of course, with Senators Richard Blumenthal and Edward J. McKay joining Klobuchar in calling on the Department of Justice to hold the company accountable for anti-competitive behavior and investigate the state and of course of competition in the market for live entertainment. And of course, top legal chiefs in several states also added that they have launched investigations into Ticketmaster. A U.S. Representative Alexandra, that's Cortez, added on Twitter during Taylor Swift's ticket debacle. And of course, he said that a daily reminder that Ticketmaster is a monopoly. It's a merger, and of course, with Live Nation should never be approved, and they need to be rendered. And of course, before the ticket sales issue, Live Nation released their most recent earnings report. That's on November 3rd. According to the results, Live Nation saw 44 million fans attend, and of course 11,000 of its events in the most recent quarter, with ticket sales for concerts up by 34%. And of course, we see that while the Senate panel hearing date has not been released at this point, of course, the White House also posted on Twitter saying the Biden administration wants to cut down on the jump fees for tickets, airlines, and hotels at the same time. Well, Chantal, I found this so interesting. Looking at Ticketmaster, do you come to realize that they're quite enormous potentials in the entertainment industry? I mean, I didn't know actually that somebody can actually have okay, I thought if I'm an artist, I'll be responsible for, how I distribute my tickets, having different players, partners. But now we see an independent company issuing tickets of an artist, and it's their business.
Yes, it's happening across the world, and even in Uganda itself, we have different platforms that have tickets for the different events that we've been seeing. You can have depending on the platform you want. You can go and use that platform and purchase a ticket for a particular show that you want to attend. So it's a business venture that that has taken form, especially in the entertainment world. And well, why would you hustle about who's going to sell the tickets and how long and everything if you can have partners on board that will push, because that is the only way you're going to make money. That is literally how you identify a gap in business and
you come and
see how to make it better. Yes, if your client, you realize the clients are now too. The client is us, the general public, would want to attend the concert. But then also a client is the artist.
True.
To the ticketing company. So that means I'm getting probably I'm going to have to work at improving the convenience of the artist, and also the convenience of a one Chantal who doesn't have the time to go to this particular spot that has the tickets, but I can use my phone. And digitalization of things has really served us a lot. Technology has served us a lot. So I just need to sit in my office and I'm buying a ticket for whatever event I want to attend. And when I'm done, when I reach the gate, I have my ticket. I don't even have to have the physical version. Yes.
And we also reviewed something regarding cinema stock surge amid report. Amazon planning to invest $1 billion. Now we are getting back to a serious theoretical window push because lately streaming has been the talk of the day, and we need to get back to the 90-day rule. And we believe that this will be back. Honestly, it's been a while since cinemas really flat, having so many people there. People are trying, are still much into this comfort of, we are still, there is that lockdown mentality that is still into people. You see, just like lately, it's a little bit reducing. You remember when the country was actually, when the president said that now there is no curfew, but surprisingly could reach 8 and people
The streets are clear. Yes.
Still today, actually. It's not yet.
In some places, yes. In other places,
okay. In majority of the
we
places.
also know that there are some places that even during lockdown, they were still congested.
well, that's very interesting. But anyway, back to this. I really think that getting back to the theoretical window, I was feeling for the cinemas, like the cinema owners. Some actually closed, but thank God that these now like Cineplex, Cinemac, who have been one of the major players.
Even the movie distributors.
The movie distributors,
yes.
Yeah.
Because if I can get it off, the streaming platform, why would I come to you and pay you a certain amount of money? Yet I can pay subscription for a whole month, and all I have to do is have data, and I'm able to watch. Okay. Even for the movie distributors, it's been a bit challenging.
Very.
Yes.
All right. It's exactly 23 minutes past the hour. That's of 8 a.m. And of course, we've come to the end of the entertainment news this morning. And let's get into a short break. We'll be returning, of course, with the topic of discussion regarding tax education with the Uganda Revenue Authority. Stick around.